If you want shiny, healthy, long princess hair, but instead your hair is prone to breakage, damage, or just removing itself from your scalp entirely, then you've come to the right place. I get a lot of questions both on here and over on my TikTok, which if you don't follow me over there, come say hi, about my hair and how I keep it healthy and shiny, despite the fact that I do use heat and I use bleach. And trust me, it has been a journey, okay? But today I'm going to be walking you through step by step what I do to take care of my hair, all my tips, tricks, favorite products, hair wash routine, everything. So hopefully you can take away some tips for your own hair care routine and get the healthy, strong, shiny hair you desire. Everything I mention in this video will be linked down below in the description, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, starting with my pre-wash routine. I think what a lot of people don't realize is the road to a good, healthy hair wash routine starts before you even get in the shower. So there are a few things I like to do as part of my pre-wash ritual. The very first thing I do before anything else is I detangle my hair. Now, our hair is in its most fragile state when it's wet, so the last thing you want is to tackle any of those tangles or knots while your hair is wet. Detangling your hair when it's dry before you get in the shower is not only going to make your hair so much less prone to breakage, it's also going to allow any products we put on it to absorb properly. Plus, it makes your post-shower routine so much easier. Now, a bamboo bristled brush, try saying that 5 times fast. I personally like to use a bamboo bristled brush, and I love this one because the bristles are super flexible. So it's gonna make sure it's not tugging on any of those knots and tangles and potentially causing breakage. The bristles absorb some of the oil from our scalp and helps evenly distribute it throughout the lengths of our hair. So not only is it great to use before you're washing your hair when your hair is likely at its most oiliest, it's also great to use between washes to really distribute some of that hair. So it's not all just sitting on the scalp. It's gonna help distribute some of the oil further down, not only making our scalp less oily, it's also going to give our ends of the hair a little bit of that taste of, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. It's going to allow the ends of our hair to get a little bit of moisture as well. For some reason, it sounds so gross when you say it like that. Now our hair is thoroughly detangled and the oil from our scalp is thoroughly distributed throughout the rest of our hair. We can get into our next step, which is hair oiling. Now, I hear a lot of mixed opinions on hair oiling. Some people love it, some people hate it. I personally love it. It is a practice that has been around for centuries, and all the girlies with good hair seem to hair oil, so... But I do get it. If you have hair that's on the oilier side, it's kind of like, why do you need to bother? Your hair produces enough oil as it is. But trust me, it can not only really help oily hair for the fact that it's hydrating your scalp, and the whole reason why hair or skin produces oil is because it's dry and it's trying to overcompensate, but it's also amazing for making sure our hair follicles are getting all of the hydration and all of the nutrients they need to have our hair grow thick and healthy. I personally like using the Nature's Spell Natural Rosemary Oil. This is a pre-diluted oil, so it saves you all the faff of trying to dilute it yourself. Personally, I love rosemary oil as it's been shown in many scientific studies to help promote hair growth and reduce hair loss. And I have personally seen a difference in the health of my hair since doing this consistently. I will just take the little dropper and kind of distribute it throughout my hair, on my scalp, and then just kind of take my fingers, massage it in, and just kind of make sure it's evenly distributed. This is also a fantastic practice if your scalp is prone to any dryness or any flakiness. Our scalp is the most important factor when it comes to the health of our hair. It's literally where the hair is coming from. So making sure it's its healthiest and most nourished is going to be so important and the absolute key to healthy, strong hair growth. Okay, now our scalp is fully oiled. I like to go in and do an oil on the ends of my hair as well. Now you can use the same oil that you use for your scalp for this, but I personally like using a different oil for different benefits. So this is the Hair Syrup Rapunzel Pre-Wash Oil. This stuff is fantastic. It's super nourishing, super hydrating. And I like to do this because not only is it great to just let your hair kind of sit in this oil and this moisture and kind of give it as much TLC as you possibly can, especially before washing it, which is inherently quite a traumatic process for the hair. It's also going to help create a protective layer over the more fragile parts of our hair and make it less prone to breakage when we're shampooing. So I'll just take the oil and kind of distribute it throughout the mid-lengths and ends of my hair, and then I'll just twist it up, put it in a claw clip, and I'll leave this in for about 1 to 4 hours depending on how much time I have. Longer if you can, and it's just going to give our hair time to just really soak up all of that goodness and get our hair in its healthiest, most hydrated state before we go in with our our hair wash. Okay, now our hair is suitably oiled and hydrated, we can move on to our in-shower routine. Naturally, the first step is going to be shampoo. Now, personally, whether I'm hair oiling or not, I will always double shampoo. Like I said before, my hair is on the oilier side, so I definitely like to double shampoo to make sure I'm really removing all of that oil and I have the cleanest scalp possible. I think that's a big mistake that a lot of people make with hair oiling, is they don't double shampoo. They just shampoo once and you don't end up removing all of the oil that is on our scalp, and that's what leads to your hair feeling greasy even though you've just washed it. Another thing is I always find on my first shampoo my hair doesn't lather up as much as the second, and that's because of all the oil and gunk and grime and product buildup that is on our scalps. I like to treat the first shampoo as just a way to cleanse all of that superficial dirt and oil off, and then the second one is when I really get in there and make sure I'm like really deeply cleaning my scalp. Now, my favorite shampoo at the minute to use is the full length anti-breakage shampoo from Hello Clean. Now, if you have hard water where you live, Hello Clean is the brand for you, okay? Their whole brand is catering hair care to hard water. They do shampoos, conditioners, shower heads to help filter hard water. Where I live has exceptionally hard water, and you may notice that the hard water can sometimes leave this film on your hair, and I don't know, it feels gross. It feels really gross. And since using this, my hair just feels so much lighter, less weighed down, and just healthier than it did before. Now, even if you live in an area that doesn't have hard water, if your hair is greasy or prone to getting greasy, I would definitely recommend something like this because it is a clarifying shampoo. And what this means is it's just going to do a really good job of getting rid of anything that's kind of left over on our hair, on our scalp, and it's just going to provide a really deep clean and thoroughly cleanse our hair. And I noticed that when I use this, my hair gets greasier way slower. Yeah, that's right. My hair gets greasier slower than it does when I don't use this. I feel like it helps me go longer between wash days, so I would definitely recommend something like this. Now, for your second shampoo, you can use a different shampoo. Occasionally, sometimes I will too, but usually just for the sake of ease, I'll use the same shampoo twice. There's really no reason to have two shampoos on the go at the same time. But the one thing I do differently on my second shampoo is I use a scalp massager. Now, I have been personally really loving a scalp massager from Mitrex, who are the sponsor of today's video. This is a game changer for your hair care routine, okay? This is the Mitrex EMS Head Spa Pro. Now, this is everything you could possibly need for scalp care in one little device. This is a motorized scalp massager that is waterproof, which means you can use it in the shower. I personally love using this on my second shampoo. I just think it really gets in there, deeply cleanses the scalp and promotes that circulation. Plus, it will not get tangled in your hair, but it doesn't stop there. The Head Spa Pro uses electrical muscle stimulation technology. This works by delivering low-frequency electrical impulses to your scalp, which increases blood circulation and helps bring vital nutrients and oxygen to your hair follicles. It also contains 9 LED lights that have a 630 nanometer wavelength, a wavelength that is often praised for its skin rejuvenation benefits and has been shown to reduce inflammation and irritation. I am telling you, this is a game changer for your hair health. The device comes with 3 different attachments, 3 speed settings, and 5 different EMS intensity levels, so you can customize it completely to your own liking. Plus, it lasts up to 5 hours between charges, which is super convenient. It is so relaxing. I will just use it like after I've been staring at a screen all day or when I have a headache, and it just does such a great job of relieving that tension. And like I said, it's just great for boosting that circulation to your scalp. I have to keep stealing it back from my mum and my sister because they also love it. If you want to check it out for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description, or you can scan this QR code to learn more. Mitrex have been kind enough to give us a discount code, so you can use code Chloe15 for 15% off. Thank you so much again to Mitrex for sponsoring this video and introducing me to the scalp massager. It has honestly changed the game. And let's get back into the routine. Okay, the next step again is something I will usually only do once a week at most, and that is a scalp scrub. Now, this is amazing if you do tend to use a lot of products or you do have hair on the oilier side. It's really going to get rid of any of that leftover buildup or oil and grease and kind of just give us a blank page scalp to work with. It's just going to help unclog any of those hair follicles so our hair can grow through thick, healthy and strong. I personally love the one from Birogeo. I never know how to pronounce that brand. This is the Scalp Revival Charcoal and Coconut Oil Micro Exfoliating Shampoo. Now, you can use this as your second shampoo. I personally like to use it after shampoo, before conditioner, as kind of like a last deep cleansing step, but it's not something I'd recommend doing more than once a week because 1, it's not necessary, but 2, you don't want to be causing any irritation or overstripping the scalp. I will usually just take a little bit on my fingers and just take it on my scalp and just kind of really work it in, scrub off any of that dead skin, product builder. And honestly, this one in particular I love because it has that cooling feeling to it. Like your hair will feel so much cleaner after you've used it. And I also noticed a difference in the volume of my hair as well when I use it. Now our scalp is fully cleansed, the blood is circulating to it, we've taken good care of it. We can now move on to the rest of our hair. Now of course the next step is conditioner. I personally have been loving the L'Oreal Paris Elvive Bond Repair Conditioner. This is amazing. Anything bond repair, if you have heat or chemically damaged hair, is going to be so incredible for the overall strength and health of your hair. When we use heat or any bleach or chemicals on our hair, we are essentially damaging the molecular structure of the strands of our hair and breaking those bonds that kind of keep our hair strong. And that's where you can find, if you have heat or chemically damaged hair, that it's much more prone to breakage because there aren't as many bonds holding the hair together as there were before the damage. Using products that contain bond repairing ingredients is going to be key to repairing that damage. So I squeeze as much excess water out of my hair as possible, and then I will just go in with my conditioner and distribute it evenly throughout my mid-lengths and ends. I tend to try and avoid the scalp because, like I said, I have a naturally oily scalp anyway, so it's really the ends of my hair that need the hydration more than anything. And then every conditioner is kind of different for the amount of time it's recommended to leave it in. I would recommend looking at the back and just reading and leaving for as long as it'll tell you. This one specifically says to leave it on for 3 minutes, so what I'll do is I'll just distribute it throughout my hair and then I will clip it up out of the way while I do other things in my shower, whether it's exfoliating or shaving, and then rinse it out after the 3 minutes. Like I said, I love these kinds of conditioners because not only do you feel the difference in your hair straight away, the hydration, it feels shinier, it feels healthier, it's also doing good on a scale that we can't see. Now you can just leave it there, and on some days I do, but this is kind of like our all out everything wash routine, so I will usually go in with a hair mask. Now a hair mask that I have been loving recently is the Dreaming Advanced Repair and Resurfacing Treatment hair mask from Colorwau. Colorwau is just an amazing brand, so if you haven't tried anything from them, I would highly recommend. But this is the thickest, most gorgeous, repairing, hydrating hair mask that I have tried recently. I will just take a scoop of that, distribute it throughout the mid-lengths and ends of my hair. I noticed such a difference in my hair when I use this. Like it feels just, I don't know, like silk. It feels like silk. It does such an amazing job of hydrating the ends of your hair, and you feel the difference when you wash it out. There is nothing I can't stand more than when I put a hair mask in and then as soon as I wash it out, my hair feels exactly the same. Like, what a waste of time. But this, honestly, I noticed the biggest difference. It's amazing, especially if the ends of your hair are prone to dryness or breakage. It really helps smooth that cuticle of the hair and have it looking shiny and healthy. Like I said, I'd always recommend looking at the back to see how long you should leave it on for. This one is 2 to 3 minutes, so like I said again, I will just put it throughout my hair, clip it up out of the way, leave it to sit for a few minutes, and then rinse it out. Now when I'm rinsing my hair on the last step of my routine, I always like to rinse with cool water. Not only is this great for sealing the cuticle of our hair so it looks shinier and healthier, it also feels amazing because usually with a routine like this, I've also done an everything shower and your girl is sweating. But like I said, definitely make sure you are thoroughly rinsing out your hair. There is nothing worse than going through that whole rigmarole of a hair wash routine to then get out of the shower, start to dry your hair and realise you've still got conditioner left in it. Okay, now we are finally done with our wash routine. We can get on to our post-wash routine. I promise we're nearly there, but trust me, having a hair care routine like this and really taking the time to give your hair this TLC is going to make the world of a difference on the overall health of your hair. The very first thing I like to do is take a microfiber towel and squeeze out any excess water that is in my hair. Not only is this going to make the drying process so much quicker, it's also going to allow any products we put on our hair while it's wet to absorb better than it would if our hair was dripping wet. Now the first product I like to go in with is a scalp serum. If you're prone to your hair getting greasy, I know it can kind of be intimidating to use a scalp serum, but trust me, finding the right one that is not greasy and is not going to leave your hair feeling heavy or sticky is super important. I personally love this one. This is the L'Oreal Elvive Growth Booster Anti-Fall Scalp Serum. Now this is not greasy at all. It really absorbs into the scalp and it doesn't leave any sort of residue behind, but it's just going to really deliver those important ingredients to our hair follicles to make sure that our hair is not only growing through healthy and strong, it's also going to prevent any of our hair falling. I have noticed such a difference when using this. There is so much less hair on my hairbrush. I think the packaging of this is super great. It's super convenient. It has like the little nozzle so you can just apply it. I apply it to my scalp, distribute it evenly throughout my hair, and then then take my fingers, just kind of massage it in, make sure it's properly absorbed before I move on to any of my further steps. Like I've said 1,000 times in this video, our scalp is one of the most important factors when it comes to getting healthy hair. So making sure our scalp is well taken care of is definitely a priority. Okay, when it comes to the products I put in the rest of my hair post-wash, I like to operate on a lightest to heaviest philosophy. So I'll first go in with any sprays, then I'll go in with serums, and then I'll go in with oils. This is just the best way to make sure that everything penetrates the hair properly. So first and foremost, I will always go in with a heat protectant. Now this is so important, I can't even begin to tell you. If you are not using a heat protectant, please use a heat protectant, okay? One that I have been loving is the Pureology Color Fanatic 21 Essential Benefit Spray. Men get 2-in-1 or 3-in-1, women get 21-in-1. This is just an all-round great product for your hair. It kind of just covers all of the bases. Not only is it heat protectant, it also works great at reducing frizz, leave-in conditioner, detangling, it adds shine, prevents split ends. It does pretty much everything you could think of. I'm not going to read you them all, but it just makes your hair feel amazing. Again, this is another one my sister absolutely loves to steal, but I will just take this and spray it throughout the lengths of my hair, just making sure as much of it is coated as possible so it provides a defense against whatever heat tool I choose to use. Next, I will go in with my shine or gloss treatment. Lately, I have been loving the Tresemme Lamella Shine Ultra Gloss Spray. This stuff is amazing. It leaves your hair so shiny and glassy without making it look like greasy or weighed down. Plus, it also includes a heat protectant, so you're like double protected. And again, I will just spray this throughout the mid-lengths and ends of my hair before I dry it, and it just kind of gives it such a gorgeous, hydrated, smooth, shiny appearance. And the last product I go in with before I dry my hair is the OGX Bond Protein Repair Sealing Serum. Again, this is phenomenal. It's another one of those products that's going to repair your hair on the molecular level, and it says your hair gets up to 5 times stronger after 5 washes. Again, this is fantastic if you have chemically treated hair or you use a lot of heat. It's just going to help your hair be as strong and as healthy as it possibly can. This is a really small bottle, but it's super affordable and you really don't need much. And I would just take a few pumps of this and kind of distribute it throughout my hair before I go in with my blow dry. Now, as far as my hair drying routine, it's less of a routine and more of a whatever I'm feeling like that day. Sometimes I will air dry my hair, but I don't really love how it makes my hair feel. Plus, like I said, our hair is in its most fragile state when it's wet, so I like to reduce the amount of time my hair is in that state as possible. So what I will usually do is I will get my hair dryer. I personally use the Dyson Airwrap. I have had it since I was 17 and I love her. She has served me so well. And I will just take the regular blow dry attachment on the coolest setting, and I'll kind of just blast my hair with that. I'll like flip my head upside down and kind of make sure I really get in there and blow dry the roots and kind of give it that volume. And then when my hair is about 90% dry, I will either go in with my heatless hairstyle, whether that's the overnight blowout rods, a braid, or like, what's like the sausagey one? I don't think that's called a rod. What is it called? Oh, I don't know. You guys know the one I'm talking about. I find that these work really well when your hair is just slightly damp. It seems to hold the curl a lot better. These are personally my heatless curls. I just think that they last me so much better than when I curl my hair with a heat tool. Then sometimes I will go in with a different attachment from the Dyson. It's usually the round brush attachment, and I will just kind of smooth out my hair with that. I find that this is so much better if I am heat styling my hair. It makes it a lot more manageable, especially if I am straightening my hair or something like that. It reduces the amount of intense heat I have to use on it if it's already kind of straight-ish from my blow dry. And then once my hair is thoroughly dry, I like to go in with my hair oil. This is the Kerastase Elixir Ultimate Hair Oil. I had heard really great things about this hair oil and I wanted to test it out for myself, and so I don't know, it was like last year now I think. I went into Sephora and kind of did the little tester, put some in my hair. I was like, I mean, it feels nice, but like doesn't feel that different to any other hair oil. And so I kind of just left it, and then throughout the day my hair felt so shiny and silky and just lovely. Like every time I put my hand through my hair I was just like, oh, this feels nice. And I ended up going back for it and I've been repurchasing it ever since. It is so incredibly expensive, so I only buy the little small one because I can't justify the price of the bigger one. But honestly, the best hair oil I've ever used, and I think the only hair oil I'll ever use. Kerastase is just such an amazing hair care brand anyway. They have some amazing products. But like I said, if you haven't tried this oil yet, I would highly recommend. It's just an amazing last step in a hair care routine to really ensure that you're sealing in that moisture, making making sure the ends are as hydrated as possible, and it's just gonna have your hair looking so shiny and healthy. I will always just add a few pumps to my hair at the end of my hair care routine. It has it feeling so shiny and healthy. I use this pretty much every day just to kind of ensure my hair is getting as much hydration through the ends as possible. Like I said, my scalp is naturally oily. My roots are fine. The ends of my hair need a little bit of extra love to make sure that they're not breaking or splitting. So I will just take a few pumps of this, whether it's in the morning or at night before I go to bed, and just really make sure I'm giving the ends of my hair the love and attention they deserve, because that's when you're going to really notice the difference in the length of your hair, when you are not only taking care of your scalp, but also you are preventing the breakage at the end. It really allows you to see that progress. And that is everything. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'd be more than happy to try and help you out. Like I said, all the products are linked in the description, including the Head Spa Pro, which I highly recommend you check out. It has honestly been such a game changer for me. I would never recommend anything to you guys unless I absolutely loved it, and trust me, I absolutely love it. My mom absolutely loves it. My sister absolutely loves it. So definitely have a look. It is fantastic. And like I said, don't forget, use code Chloe30 for 30% off. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you here. Thank you again to MyTrex for sponsoring this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!